Hey, Tom, great to see you.
Great to see you, Joe. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming on board. And by the way, congratulations on joining EcoOnline. Now, how did you hear about the opportunity?
It was one of those life. It's a small world,
Right.
and so the owners of it today, it's a PE at Apex, and I've known that team for a bunch of years. Matter of fact, they owned a company that I compete against uh, at Calabrio, my former job, and so
Right.
when they were looking for a CEO here. They put my name in the mix, and as I started talking to them, it became a no-brainer. But it was the usual. Somebody knew me.
Oh, fantastic. Now, were there particular things that attracted you to this particular opportunity?
Yeah, it was. I really seriously was retired in every way, and so I was just hanging out and was thinking about what I had accomplished at Calabrio and but sitting back pretty passively. And when these guys showed up, they tickled the two main things for me, and that's B2B SaaS software.
Mhm.
That is what I've done for a long, long time now, almost 25 years. And why I like it is it's the intersection of B2C software is for some people, but the vagaries of product market fit and the movement, I like being able to build something that makes people's lives better. Uh,
Yeah.
and so you had that component, but then you added one more thing that just absolutely put me over the edge, and that was the fact that it's has the power to make people's lives better and the world a
Mhm.
better place. And so
Yeah.
you put that on top of it, and it just became I dove in uh, hard with these guys.
Fantastic. So I do want to get into sort of that theme of the power of making lives better. But before we get to that, I want to rewind a little bit for those who may not be familiar with your background. And I also want to offer some context. So sometimes when people hear private equity, some people, not all, they're like, okay, is this about cost cutting? What is this about? Now, I can speak from personal experience covering Apex. I know they're a business builder. They invest in B2B software companies and grow them and nurture them. I also know a little bit about your background, but we haven't spoken before in terms of your track record building B2B software companies. So tell us a little bit about that, so for the viewers and listeners who don't know your track record.
Yeah, so I spent 2008 to 2023, so 15. It was actually 15 years to the day that I retired, and building a company called Calabrio, and what we were is in a general space called workforce optimization, which really was a business tool in the contact center. What we built were tools that made agents more efficient. We did things like record calls, but not just record the call. We did QA against it, and then we built schedules to put the right person on the phone at the right time. But the real thing I was proudest of is we built analytics tools that allowed those agents to have a better life.
Right.
We tried to de-stress them. We were always thinking about the human being at the center of the experience. And humanistic software, not something that ruled their life. If you know call centers, right, is average handle time, all that stuff. We were worried about what providing data so they could do world class service and wow the customer, therefore wowing their bosses and make them feel good about their job. And so it was the work of a lifetime. I was
Mhm.
around great people and did a lot of cool things. And prior to that, it was weirdly enough, I was the CFO of a couple of business software companies prior to the Calabrio experience. So it's been a good run, and I've loved every minute of it.
Fantastic, fantastic. So fast forward to Echo Online. You join the company. The company talks about protecting people and the environment. Now, listen. We all go to a lot of websites that have nice green logos and just this feel good warmth, but there's not much there. How are you different in terms of the fact that you're truly in this market of sustainability, ESG, and human safety, et cetera? Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is a company that through with the help of the couple of core companies in this space, there's a lot of point solutions.
Mhm.
Do I take care of the health? Do I take care of the safety? Do I take care of carbon? Do I take the components of ESG and EHS?
Mhm.
And in this case, we have them all. We have a suite of products that are custom made to be the best thing. You can buy them and point from us, but you're going to come back for more, because it really, to do it in a holistic way, is to be able to really take care of not only the health and wellness of your employees, but also the health and wellness of the world. And so we are different in that we have that scope and scale and that passion to really sweep it all together and give people the things they need in a robust way. Because
Mhm.
it's also, if you've been in software yourself, and you know that some of these solutions, as their point, they might be really good at that component, but without the other features and product sets, they fall short in giving what they really are promising, because they can't connect the dots.
Right. Got it. Okay. So that's sort of the I understand the technology side they're explaining here and the business benefits. Tell me about the people side. When I was prepping for the interview and talking to the PR team and also looking at your background, a lot of people emphasize to me your people first philosophy. But what exactly is that?
It's twofold, Joe. I look at, you have to have a great culture that inside of EcoOnline. That's first and foremost. I have to have a wonderful culture that builds people up in order to build this best software.
Right.
But the component that I bring is this maniacal customer focus. Is those people need to be able to use the software easily, but it has to make their lives better. Think about a safety officer that's filling out data sheets, that's filling out all this myriad of things. At EcoOnline, we give them the tools to give them all, and you're hit or miss. You're as good as people doing the report as them reporting an incident.
Right.
And so here we make it that much easier. And by doing that, that puts the human there. And also the in this case, it is in the safety spot. It might just make sure somebody goes home healthy at the end of a day, at the end of a shift.
Right.
And so that, not forgetting that human side, kind of will drive my philosophy here. And I know, after spending time with this team, that's exactly where they come from. Another reason why I jumped onto this opportunity, because it fits so well with my ethos of software really can make people's lives better. And that sounds super geeky,
Yeah.
but after 30 years of doing various software and 25 of it in B2B, I'm telling you, it is the truth.
Yeah. As you begin to settle in, do you have a short list? Do you have a whiteboard there in terms of like, hey, here's really what I think we could do the first 100 days? Or are you in pure listen mode?
I am literally in pure listen mode. I I've been with my senior team for 3 straight days now. After
Yeah.
announcing internally and being with everybody, I have been the 10 people that report to me have been sitting. I'm just sitting at the end of the conference room, and they're out having fun right now. And I'm telling you, listening to them, and I'm walking through our process of delivering great software to customers and trying to absorb everything I can. After that, I will come up with some ideas. I'm I'm the most senior software exec in here, so I obviously am spattering in. And what I've told them is, the rest of this year, you're getting a lot of spattering from me of what are the things that build great software companies. Is there a little tweak we can make now? But they've got a great company making plan and doing well. I don't want to screw that up first and
Right.
foremost. But
Right.
then this 100 days is all about planning for 2024, and taking my learnings from 30 years and applying it to their learnings of all these years in this great space. And the two, I hope, marry up pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool. And again, I don't want you to pre-announce anything. I know you're literally just settling in the first few days. But as you look out to 2024, I mean, do you see, potential business evolution, new opportunities? You must have been, as you're sitting during these interviews and cross-pollinating with the team, with the private equity team, there must have been these moments where it's like, wow, we could be planting this seed or that seed. Any thoughts?
I think the real seed for us is to continue to think about our company as this suite of products. I
Okay.
think generally people talk about EHS and ESG separately. I think there's a real other than the fact that they share the word environmental, they don't talk a lot.
Right.
I think there's a real opportunity for people to win when you put all of this together and think of it as a category rather than a couple, three categories. And so that one looks a lot like my Calabrio days, frankly. We took an industry that had a lot of point solutions and made a suite. And the more people saw that when you hit it right, you build these synergies amongst the product, and the companies that are buying you just get ridiculous amounts of benefit from that. And
Yeah.
so my goal, again, let's go back to the customer and the middle of them being at the center of it. My goal in 2024 is to identify those places and build software that puts them at the center of our experience so they win.
Got it. Okay. And you know what it reminds me of? I may be oversimplifying it, and you may hear this example and be like, "No, Joe, you got it all wrong." But but it reminds me a little bit of there was the old days of client server, right? And
Mhm.
how difficult it was to deploy an ERP application or a CRM suite. Then you fast forward to the cloud era, and more of the leading companies have end-to-end solutions that offer CRM, ERP, et cetera, and a single user experience across all that. Do you think it's similar in the EHS market, the ESG market, in terms of where you're going?
Absolutely, that's exactly right. Is you're it's we've watched models change in our years. I think you and I are similar age, and going from COBOL and whatever you could put on a floppy disk and switch in and out of your computer, to remote computing,
Yeah.
to SaaS. There's another gear here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always talked about it, Calabrio, and we'll talk about it here. Is SaaS is everybody talked about it as a delivery model and killing software if you go back to the Salesforce days. And now I look at it as an architecture. It's
Yeah.
an architecture that allows you to do things more robustly, quickly, and bring things to disparate systems together in a way that makes sense. It's what apps are all about.
Yeah.
Some business software isn't quite to the app era, but it's getting close with the way we're building our suites.
Yeah. 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 Hey, listen, and one more thought on that. To go a little deeper, I think one of the wonderful things about the era we're in right now, I shouldn't say wonderful, but I think one of the positive things about the era we're in right now, I think we're so far along in SaaS that private equity firms now have playbooks. That doesn't mean everything goes perfectly, but they have playbooks where they know the metrics, they know the dials to turn on the business front. But then you're talking about the intellectual property, the people in the room with you at the company who understand your market. You put the two together, plus your knowledge of SaaS and how to build businesses, and you may be onto something special here.
Yeah, I no doubt, I'm moving my family 5,000 miles, and so I'm betting a lot of my future on what we're doing here, and it was a no-brainer, to be honest.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. Hey, one final question for you. For viewers and listeners who may want to get some more information about EcoOnline, where do they go? Is there a particular URL or landing page?
Yeah, there is EcoOnline, so spelled just the way it sounds, .com. And then you can find me on that website. You can find me on LinkedIn, and any of my team.
Fantastic. Tom, thanks again for your time.
You bet, Joe. Thank you for having me.